Hey guys, welcome back to another Again Style with Web Development tutorial, and in this tutorial I'm going to be talking about what is JavaScript. In the previous two I talked about what is HTML and what is CSS. So JavaScript kind of makes the final building block of the web. So I'm just going to put this what is JavaScript, and let's just put this, I don't know, let's just make a new file. And first I'm going to make an index.html because, as you know, for any website it always needs to have an index.html file. So I'm just going to call this what is JavaScript. Okay, so basically what you need to know is JavaScript is basically used to script a script inside of a web. So if we go over to here and let's just say we have some kind of element, let's just call this h1, and I'm going to give this an ID. So I'll give this an ID of text, and then inside of this let's just give it some text. So this is text which we want to be generated. Okay, so if we go over here and we actually go here, we can see that this text which we just put here has actually been put in here, and you know, we've actually got it here. So now all we want to do is we actually want to generate some custom text using JavaScript. So to get into JavaScript, there's two ways. I'll show you this way. So first what you can do is you can create script tags, and then inside of this you can just type JavaScript. So inside of here it's just regular JavaScript, but then another way you can do is if you actually go here and then just create something called something.js, that'll create a JavaScript file, and then over here you can actually link that in like this. So script, and you need to put source and script.js, and that will actually link it over there. So now once we're in here we can actually create some text. So actually I'm not going to do it this way since it's a bit more complicated, but just know that that is a way. So now let's have that. Let's just go in here and let's just do something. So first thing you might want to do, which is pretty basic, is actually use the console log, and I'm just going to refresh this because I do not know why it's giving me this error. Oh, I see, because I'm still trying to access that. What I can do is go to over here, and if I actually go to develop and then empty caches, then reload the page, that should fix it, unless maybe that's just an error. You know how it is. Anyways, I'm just going to leave that there. We don't need to worry about that for now. But now once you've done that, what you can actually do is type some JavaScript. So the basic thing you might want to know in JavaScript is how to print to the console, which is just this, and it's literally just console.log, and then let's just call this printed some stuff. If we run this and then do this again, you should see that it actually comes up with that. So yeah, and now let's say we want to access this element here. So let's just generate something. You can create variables using let or const. Constant is for constant. So let's just say we have something like const generated text, and let's just set this to made in JavaScript. Okay, and then what we want to do is we can actually set this generated text to this by using the document.getElementBy. So we do document.getElementBy, and this is all related to the DOM object model. I'll talk about that more about that later. But basically you can just get an element by ID. We've set this element's ID to text, so we'll just put text there, and then we can set the inner text to the generated text, and now you can see that that actually dynamically changes to made in JavaScript. So yeah, and then JavaScript is just a full-fledged programming language. Like, you can just do whatever you want to this text. Like if we want to do something like replace, and let's say replace made with created, and we'll also have to set this, so let's make const new generated text is equal to, and then let's just put that there, and now you can see it got replaced by created. So yeah, and one more quick thing I want to mention is that for most of the programming on this channel I'm actually going to be using Typescript, which is basically the same thing as JavaScript with just some extra safety and features. which is why I'll explain more about it later. There'll probably be a whole series on it, but yeah, It's basically the same thing, and any TypeScript is also basically valid JavaScript if you just format it a little bit. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in a future tutorial. This was the really basics of JavaScript.